your trinity. It's shoulders by the bread. Name 1 degrees, but the number is a liar. Feels like 111 or higher. Water in the air, doing math on my lungs. Everything I do costs an extra couple tons of effort. That's the tariff, that's the levy. Nothing about August has ever been easy. Shirt sticks down before I hit the corner. Whole day taxed and the taxing is enormous. People from dry states come here and they crumble. Say it's not the heat and I let them keep fumbling. For the understanding that the air can be a weight. Something you carry and nothing you translate. Breathe in, pay the fee. Nothing here for free. Not a fever, not a fight. Just a tax on being alive. Humidity tariff charge on every step. Everything I plan today costs more than I kept. Nobody exempts you and there's nowhere to appeal. Base beneath the sidewalk, heavier than steel. Pay the whole levy, it's collected on the skin. That's the only tax I'm in. Substance low in the loaded air. Oh, hey, hey. Feel the ass blowing thicker than the whole affair. Feel the atmosphere declare. Then September comes and the bill gets suspended. One morning at 6 and the whole thing is ended. Air goes thin and my body remembers what it costs to just be in a normal December. That's why we stay for the moment of relief. Nobody from dry states can fathom that belief. And if you live where the air is a hand on the chest, where 4 months a year you are quietly oppressed, you have a September that a dry state can't buy. That first cold morning is a gift from the sky. You earned every degree, don't ask why. Tariff on humidity suspended in the fall. Everything I paid for August finally paid off all at once in a morning that arrived without warning. Base beneath the driveway on the first cool morning. Take the whole refund, it comes once a year. That's the only reason I'm here. The air stopped charging and I could finally breathe. 120 degrees and I went up anyway. Pulled downstairs with a sprint that's been screaming since a decade before I was even a meaning. Anybody's playing heat, it's like a wall insulation, dust in the boxes and it's all somebody. Whole life stacked in a square. Nobody's been up here in 11 years, I swear. Mom's handwriting on a box, this is Danny. That's my brother and he died at 19. And he left about 4 boxes of a person unfinished. Nobody opened them and the tape hasn't diminished. I sat in the heat with my hand on the cardboard. 40 minutes didn't know but couldn't afford. He climbs the dust, hangs everything up here belongs to a person who is done. And a family that won. Attic inventory, cooking in the sun. Everything we couldn't face is boxed and overrun. Nobody's gonna sort it, and we all know that. Base beneath the rafters, heavy as the fact. Take the whole heat. It's the only thing that's kept. That's the only place we wept. Sub-bakes low through a plywood floor. Low and older than the whole store. Feel the family close the door. When again in October when it's kinder, open one box with my mother right behind her. Own kind of breathing, took us about 4 hours. Cried in the dust and we came down with flowers. Rest in a book that he made when he was 7. Best thing I own now and it came from that oven. If you got a box you have not been able to open. If the tape's been intact since the year that was broken. Don't do it in July, don't do it alone. Wait for October, bring somebody home. Then open the thing and come down. stop being warm to you in a very hot month. Text at 11 and I read it and I left it, not out of malice, out of finally being deaf with the knowledge that a person can be pleasant and draining. 9 years of listening and 9 years of straining to hold a friendship that had emptied its purpose. Cold isn't cruelty, cold is a service. Everybody says communicate, be honest, tell them exactly and be gentle and be modest. Tried it for times and she cries and it resets. Nothing gets said and I'm back with the regrets. So I got quiet and the quiet did the work. Sounds like a coward, feels like a clerk. Warm to cool, week to week, never had to even speak. Not a fight and not a scene, just a temperature between. Cold shoulder season running through July. Everything I couldn't say came out as a goodbye. Nobody announced it and it happened anyway. Face beneath the group chat where I'm nothing left to say. Let the whole warmth drain out of the light. That's the only exercise. Stop, close, low, low through a silent phone. Low and quieter than the tone. Feel the friendship, leave the bone. Saw her in November at a thing with the others. Hugged her like a person hugs somebody's mother. Warm but not close and she knew it, I knew it. Neither of us named a thing or went through it. That's how most of them end and it's ugly. Everybody pretends they are lovely. And if you've gone cold on somebody who was decent, who never wronged you but who left you unpleasant and tired every time you're allowed to walk out, you just don't get to pretend it was a route they chose. On the cold, that's the truth. Season of the cold shoulder, ending in the fall. Everything I let go of was never really all that warm to start with, and I'm honest about that. Face beneath the doorway where I left the whole flat. Take the whole silence, I'm the one who chose. That's the coldest thing I know. It's the cold heart. Season of the cold shoulder, ending in the fall. Everything I let go of was never really all that warm to start with, and I'm honest about that. Base beneath the doorway where I left the whole flat. Take the whole silence, I'm the one who chose. That's the coldest thing I know. I stopped being warm and I never said why. He worked outside for 30 years and called it devotion. Rufus since 19 with a back like a story. Never took a shade break and he wore it like glory. Foreman would beg him and he'd wave him away. I'm fine is the whole thing my father would say. Skin like a leather that had opinions. Every summer took a little more of his dominion. Collapsed in July on a roof in Fort Worth. Everybody's scrambling and assessing the worth of a man who wouldn't stop when the stopping was free. He came back to work in a week. That's the tragedy. Not the collapse, the returning without changing. I'm 62. He was done at 51. Nobody gave him a trophy or a sign. And to every man who was taught that the stopping in his weak, whose father worked through it and would not ever speak about the pain, you can honor him and stop. You can love the man and refuse to drop. Take the shade break, that's the top. Saint who was son, poison's gone at 51. Everything he gave us wasn't asked of anyone. Nobody required it, and he did it all the same. Base beneath the rooftop where I'm working in his name. Take the whole lesson, I'll be sitting in the cool. It's the only honoring rule. He worked outside for 30 years, I'll work for 40. Feet down, there's nothing to answer. 12 feet down, there's nothing to answer. Sat on the bottom with my legs crossed like a monk. Air in my lungs and the whole world is sunk. Above me, the shouting, the splashing, the mother. Calling somebody's name to somebody's brother. Down here it arrives as a shape, not a sentence. Everything urgently becomes an acquaintance. Learned this at 9 when the house got too loud. Public pool deep end, and I made me a shroud of water and pressure and a very old quiet. Stayed till my chest made a genuine riot. Came off of air and went straight back under. Best coping mechanism a child could plunder. 12 feet down, 40 seconds. Everything up there beckons. Nothing here that has to be. Just the pressure holding me. Deep and silence, heavy on the ears. Everything I couldn't face is muffled for the years. Nobody follows me and nobody can shout. Face beneath the waterline, keeping the world out. I'll sit on the bottom till the lungs make the call. That's the only quiet at all. Sub comes slow through the 12-foot blue. Low and thicker than the whole crew. Feel the pressure carry through. 34 now when I still go on Sundays. Same public pool in the same deep end runways. Lifeguard knows me and she doesn't even flinch when I go down and I stay for an inch. Past comfortable, she just watches and waits. That's a professional who understands the stakes. And if you're a person who needs the world muted, who was called antisocial, quietly refuted. Soft accusation with a shrug and a smile. Go get in water, go down for a while. It's not avoidance, it's a fire. Yo. Silence in the deep end, pressing on the head. Everything unmanageable stays up there instead. Nobody joins me and I come up on my own. Face beneath the 12 feet, colder than a stone. Take the whole quiet, it lasts 40 count. That's the only piece that matters. The most powerful woman on this block runs a cat.
Yeah, ay, corner a knife with an umbrella that's crooked. Ice in the chest and the syrup's all booked it. From a supplier she is never once named. 40 years running and the corner is claimed.
Not by a deed and not by a permit, just by a woman who decided to earn it.
Politicians come by in the summer campaign, and she takes a photo with them smiling, entertaining. Then she tells the whole block who's actually decent. Whole election turns on a woman selling frozen water and sugar for $1.25. Everybody listens to the ice car daughter.
Car rolls out at 10:30. Whole block organizes then. Not a man, not a boss, just a woman with a sauce. Snowcone Sovereign, rolling from the curb. Everything that happens here goes through her. Every word, nobody appointed her. She simply outlasted. Base beneath the sidewalk, cooling unsurpassed. Take the whole corner and spin her since the start. That's the only ruling law.
Sub-arms low with the shaver spin, blowing colder than the paper thin. Feel the whole block check back.
City tried to move her in a zoning revision. 400 people showed up to the session. Standing room only for a cart and a lady. Council back down and the backing down was shady. Leave fast, they knew they always knew. Some power is real and it's not up to you. And if you've been told that authority takes a title, a badge, a degree, a position that's vital, go stand at a corner for 40 straight years. Sell something cold and remember people's fears. That's the whole office. That's the tears. Sovereign of the snow cone, crowned by the block. Everything official here gets settled at a stock. Nobody elected her and no one ever will. Base beneath the umbrella, holding very still. Take the whole corner, it was never up for sale. That's the only queen's tale. The most powerful woman on this block just closed up. In my house, just a load and the load has a temperature colder than anything I found in your sure.
Opened the door once, had to stop in the desert. Stood in the cold for a minute and I measured how long it takes for the whole load to soften. 2 minutes maybe, that's the thing I do often.
Not because I need to, just to feel the difference between what I'm hauling and my own existence. 40 below, 6 feet back, everything inside intact. Nothing that belongs to me, still as cold as company.
Refrigerated truck, humming through the night. Everything I'm carrying is colder than my life. Nobody rides with me, and the unit does the talking. Base beneath the chassis where the desert keeps on walking.
Take the whole highway, I'll be there by 9. That's the only cold that's mine.
Sub drones low with the reefers hum. Low wind older than the outcome. Feel the freeze become a drum.
Delivered at 7 to a guy with a clipboard. Didn't say much and he didn't have to nod it. At the temp log and he said you did good. 9 words in 22 hours understood. Drove to a lot and I slept for 11. Dreamed of a kitchen, woke up, that's heaven.
And to whoever's alone in a cab on the 80, whose only conversation is a gauge and a maybe.
The Lord makes it, that's the thing that you did. Nobody knows and the world's a big lid on a very small life. But you move the grid. Truck full of gold, parked against the dawn. Everything I carry through the night is going on. Without me in the kitchens, in the hands, in the meals. Base beneath the trailer where the temperature seals. Take the whole haul, I load up again. That's the only cold I've been. 40 below made it, and so did I. And I found a country at 34. Glass doors fogging in a store full of nobody. Stood in the cold like it owed me an apology. Didn't buy a thing for the first 40 minutes. Just let the machine do the work on my limits. Manager watched me and he didn't say a word. He's done it himself, that's a thing I inferred. Yeah, I've been personal since Tuesday. Baking through the shirt and it argues with your due date. Everything I planned got postponed by a number. 99, 100 and my at the back. Everything the summer took is something I take back. Nobody guards it, and it never asks a price. Bass in the compressor like a room made of ice. Stand in the doorway till the sweat gives in. That's the coolest crown I've ever been. Sub drones low through the frozen glass. Low and cold, then the whole mass. Feel the August finally pass. Bought a bag of peas that I don't plan to open. Put it on my neck and my whole spine was spoken to like a friend with a very short sentence. Cold doesn't comfort you, it just ends the offense. Walked out at 8 and the parking lot was steaming. Whole world melting and I'm quietly gleaming. And to whoever's gonna wear where they're sleeping, who lies on the tile after quietly weeping. The store's open late and the aisle doesn't judge. Take 20 minutes, the machine doesn't budge. That's not defeat, that's a nudge. Asylum in the freezer, glowing white and low. Everything the heat did is a thing I let go. Nobody would call this a place to be safe. Face beneath the flooring where the frost never came. Take the whole coldness, walk it to the car. That's exactly what these summers are.
Carry 34 home. The home is a god. It's a bed for feet.
Motel corridor with a carpet from a decade. Nobody remembers and nobody's afraid. Machine at the end doing work like a saint. Rattles then thunders, then it gives what it ain't. Obligated to give, that's the whole definition. Kindness with a plug and a mechanical mission.
Bucket in my hand and I'm barefoot and honest. Girl from room 6 doing exactly the same. And
Neither of us speaks cause the speaking will break it. 2 in the morning is the truth, you don't fake it. She nodded once and I nodded back slower. That's a whole friendship at 100 and lower. Glad I poured, it sounded great. Coldest thing in this whole place. Nothing sacred, nothing plain. Just some ice in a hand.
ice machine, him ringing down the hall. Everything unbearable gets answered by the fall.
Nobody built it as a mercy or a sign. Base beneath the corridor, low industrial line. Fill the whole bucket, let it clatter, let it ring. That's the only quiet that this building's gonna sing.
Strolls low through a motel wall. Low ain't catching every fall.
Feel the frozenness of cold.
Back in the room with the AC on 11. Ice in a cup and the cup is my heaven.
Nothing's been fixed and my life's still a question. Body's just cooler and that's the whole lesson. Sometimes relief is not the same as an answer. Sometimes enough and I'm a much better dancer.
And to whoever's in a room that they can't afford, traveling for work with the Nate they ignore. The machine down the hall doesn't know that you're broke. It gives you the same as the man in the cloak. Take the whole bucket, that's not a joke. Hemming from the ice machine, clattering at 3. Everything I couldn't fix got quieter in me. Nobody compose it and it plays every night. Bass beneath the hallway, dimming out the light.
Fill it up again and walk it back slow. That's the only sermon that I know. Down the hall, the God is still dispensing. I keep myself at 68 degrees on purpose. set to a number that's I'm feeling. Everybody visits and they comment on the ceiling. Fan events, the way the room stays a stranger. I like it that way, that's a preference, not a danger. Warm rooms make people say the things that they mean. Cold rooms keep everybody perfectly clean. Last time I burned for a whole season. Gave the whole house away and don't need a reason. To keep the air moving and to keep myself 60. 8 and precise and completely unsticky. That's not damage, that's an actual system. Nobody dies of it, they just quietly miss them. Compressor kicks, the room goes still. Nothing near that I can't feel. Not a coldness, not a wall. Just a setting, that's all.
Air conditioned heart, running at a hum. Everything I used to feel is measured, now it's numb. Everything it wasn't, I'm not calling that a loss. Days beneath the ductwork like a river on the gloss. Set it where I want it, and I let it stay. That's the only weather I obey. Sub blows low through a cooling vent. Low and steady in the whole descent. Feel the temperature consent. Then somebody came and she turned the thing down. Said it's freezing in here, like a joke, like a crown. I said leave it and she laughed it. Sat in my cold and she never once questioned it.
3 months later I turned it up myself. Nobody asked, it just came off the shelf. And if you build a cool room after somebody burned it, if your whole personality is temperature determined, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just a house that's been hot. The dial still turns, you just forgot. Nobody has to, but you got the spot.
Hard with the AC on, humming through the night. Everything I regulated finally feels right. And that's a word I never used to allow. Bass beneath the floorboards, warmer than it was now. Turn it up 1 degree and see how it goes. That's the only risk this body knows.
I keep myself at 70 now on purpose. Na 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 na. On and outside the barbershop at noon, 6 men standing there like it's a private saloon. No, nobody's buying, nobody's cutting. Everybody's holding down 11 feet of nothing. That's real estate when the sun is as vicious. Shade is a currency and shade is delicious.
Kid tried to stand there and they made him earn it. Told him a story that would take him a moment
to understand, and they moved and they gave it. Everything worth having is a thing that they saved it. For someone who sit and listen for a minute, shade costs attention, that's the whole business. Sun moves west, the price goes up. Shadows shrinking like a cup. Nothing here you can install. Just a wall and just a wall. Shade mattress standing where the sun can't reach. Everything expensive out here doesn't come with speech. Nobody owns it and we all pay the rent. Base beneath the sidewalk in a cool and dark descent. Sell me 11 feet of dark at noon. That's the only luxury in June. Sub hums low in the awnings line. Low and darker than the whole design. Feel the temperature decline. 4 o'clock and the shadow crosses over. Everybody shifts like a very slow rover. Nobody said move, we just know the arrangement. Sun runs the clock in a permanent engagement.
Old man left and he said we've been doing this. Sent it for your mother was a thought and a kiss.
And to whoever thinks a corner is just concrete, who drives past a group of men and doesn't see.
That's a market, a court, and a very old school. Everything traded there is warmer than cool.
Come stand in the shade, learn the rules. Merchant of the shade, dealing out the cool. Everything we're selling here was never sold in school. Nobody signs a contract and it never gets weighed. It's beneath the barbershop, a fortune in the shade. Take the whole shadow, it'll cost you your time. That's the only honest dime. That's the only honest. That's the only honest. this man out here standing still.
Somebody's father, somebody's father.
Broke the law with a wrench and a hydrant.
The NDA in the pool was for members. Nobody here was a member, remember. So Mr. Otis went and got the whole toolbox. Turned a thing left and it flooded the sidewalks. 40 kids screaming in the street made of water. That's the whole country and I'll die on that altar.
Cops rolled through and they looked at the situation. Looked at the joy and they made a calculation. Drove away slow and they didn't say nothing. Best thing a badge ever did in that summer.
Otis got fined about 2 weeks later. Whole block chipped and we all paid the traitor. Fool's bill and we paid it with pride. Nobody here was gonna hide. Not a protest, not a crime.
Just a country for a time. Spring a republic, founded on a Tuesday. Everybody citizens and nobody will move away. Nobody wrote a charter and we all knew the law. Base beneath the water, pressure colder than I saw.
Run through the middle till your lungs give in. That's the only nation I've been in.
Sub sprays low through a busted valve. Low and washing off the whole south. Low and washing off the whole south.
Feel the pavement start the hell.
20 years on and the block's been rebuilt. Condos and a coffee place and none of it guilt. I have anything but being expensive. Otis is gone and this house is offensive. Renovated and the hydrant's still there. Painted a color that pretends not to care. And to the kids who don't get a pool or a lake, who've only got asphalt and whatever they take.
Somebody's father is gonna find a wrench. Somebody's summer is gonna get drenched. Stay on the block, don't leave the bench.
Public of the sprinkler dissolved in September. Everybody in it is a thing I still remember. Nobody kept a record, that's why it survived. Base beneath the hydrant where we ran for our lives. Take the whole street and just fill it with cold. That's the only country I'd hold.
Somebody's father. Somebody's father.
Broke the law and we all got free.
Somebody's father. Somebody's father. I was 6 in the water. Hit me like a decision.
Hey, iron cap turning in the hands of a giant. Uncle races 4 and completely defiant. Cousins in a line like a very small congregation. Nobody dressed up and there was no invitation. He pointed at me and he said, "Your first boy, whole life turned around at the sound of that noise." Yeah.
Water hit cold like a slap from a stranger. Knocked me sideways and I laughed at the danger. Came up, gasping in the street, was applauding. Somebody's grandma on the porch quietly nodding. That's the first time I was seen by a crowd. That's the first time I was ever this loud. Cold hits, the breath goes out. That's what a beginning's about. Not a church and not a name, just a street and just a flame. Hydrant baptism, blessing in the road. Everything I was before got rinsed off and slowed. Nobody said amen and nobody had to. Base beneath the asphalt coming right at you. And in the spray till your whole self is new. That's the only church I ever knew. Yeah. Sub-blast low from the iron mouth. Yeah. Blowing, running the whole block south. Yeah. Feel the water, take the drought.
Uncle Ray died in the February quiet. Whole family gathered and nobody could try it. The talk and the eulogy, the thing that you say. So we drove to the block on a very cold day. Yeah. Stood by the hydrant with our coats on laughing. That's a funeral, that's the actual graphing. And when I have a son and the summer gets brutal and the city gets mean and the mercy gets minimal, I'll find the right wrench and I'll find the right street. I'll say yo first and I'll watch him get beat by cold water. Then he'll be complete. Yo.
Baptism by hydrant, holy and illegal. Everything about that day was bigger than a steeple. Nobody ordained it and it worked anyway. Base beneath the gutter on a 100-degree day. Take the whole blessing, take it in the face. That's the only sanctified place. I was 6 in the water, made me somebody. Yeah. 1,000 slow winners. Nothing dramatic and no sudden splinters. Just a wait, just a lean, just an ongoing pressing. Whole rock face gone and there was never a lesson taught or a moment or a day. It was one. It just kept happening under the sun. I want revenge in a very quick fashion. Wanted a moment and a room and a passion. Wanted them all to be sorry by Friday. That's not how it goes and that's not the highway. Took me 11 years to build what I built. Nobody watched and there was no sudden tilt. Inch a year, that's the pace. Nothing here that wants a race. Not a person, not a fight. Just a lean with all my way. Glacier patience, grinding through the stone. Everything that lasted was a thing that moved along. Nobody applauds an inch and that's the design. Base beneath the bedrock like a very slow line. Push for decades and the valley gives way. That's the only speed I play. Sub grind low through a frozen seam. Low and slower than a whole scheme. Feel the mountain lose its dream. Old boss saw me at a thing in December. Didn't recognize the man that I remember. Being he was loud and I was very small. Now I own the building and he leases the hall. Didn't say a word about it, didn't have to. Ice doesn't glow, ice just moves through you. And if you're doing something no one can see moving, year after year with nobody approving. That's how the big things have always been made. Nothing that arrives fast has ever really stayed. Lean on the mountain, get great. Patience of a glacier, cold across the range. Everything I grind, I never noticed the change. Nobody films an inch and that's why it works. Space beneath the valley where the quiet thing lurks. Take the whole decade, I've got several more. That's exactly what the cold is for. The slowest thing on earth is still moving. Everything I did wrong is written on my shoulders.
Fell asleep on the roof at 11 in the morning. Woke at 3 with the skin doing warning. Red like a flag, red like a ticket. Nobody's fault, I just didn't wanna quit it. The sun, the day, the feeling of the being out and alive and a little bit freeing.
Mother saw it and she gave me the look. Not the angry 101 from the book. Of a woman who has watched a boy learn slowly. Said nothing at all and she handed me all of. That's the whole parenting, that's the whole science. Let them get burned and break the silence. Skin says what the mouth won't tell. Everybody sees it well. Not a secret, not a shame. Just a body with a name. Sunburn Confession blazing on the back. Everything I overdid is written on the map. Nobody has to ask me where I was all day. Base beneath the bathrooms, holla cold and stinging away. Take the whole evidence and fades in the weed. That's the only truth I speak.
Sub drops low with the heat in the skin. Low and matching what the sun put in.
Feel the lesson underpin.
Yeah. Pill for 5 days like a very slow story. Sister called me lizard and she wasn't sorry. I wore it like a badge in the halls at the school. Everybody knew that I broken the rule, not a big one. Just a rule about caring for yourself. That's the crime I was wearing. To whoever's got a mark from a day they enjoyed. A scar, bad tattoo, a friend she's destroyed. Evidence fades, but the day's still yours. Nobody can bill you for what's already stored. Heal the whole week, then open the door.
Confession of a sunburn cooling in the brown. Everything excessive, got her corded and worn down. Nobody punished me, the start. Did the work, face beneath the yellow like a hand behind a smirk. Take the whole record, it's the only one can. That's the only day I never slept. neutral. Everybody claiming the peace with the middle. Mother cuts fair and she solves the whole riddle. Ran in a bowl for composed and the chickens. Nothing gets wasted, that's the actual religion. Big blade, gentle hand, everybody understands. Nothing violent, nothing fear, just to the smooth the pit. Watermelon knife, glinting angel light. Everything enormous can be used for something kind. Nobody's afraid of the biggest thing here. Base beneath the kitchen counter, cold and very clear. Cut the whole thing open, hand it out in the yard. That's the only time we let our guard. Sub crack slow with the run split low and sweeter than the whole kit. Feel the summer, take a hit. Taught me at 9 how to hold the thing right. Set the blaze, not the danger, it's the hurry and the fright. Slow hands, big blade, and you'll never get bitten. That's the best advice that I've ever been given. Use it on everything, not just the fruit. Slow hands, big blade, and a very quiet run to whoever's been told that the size is a problem. Too loud, too much, too big to be common. The biggest thing in this kitchen makes children laugh. Nobody flinches, we just want the half. Use what you want and cut the path. Knife for the watermelon, heavy and precise. Everything they feared in me turned out to be nice. Nobody trembles when it's used for the sweet. Base beneath the picnic table, under everyone's feet. Take the whole blade and just handle the red. That's the only thing she said. The biggest blade. The biggest blade in this house made everybody smile. Come on here. Grandmother's house had a basement of stone, coolest place in the county, and it felt like a throne. Jars on the shelf from a woman with a system, peaches from a summer that I'd never have missed them. Sat on the floor with my back on the wall, that's the only air conditioning at all.
Whole family upstairs doing sweating and arguing. Nobody thought to calm down where the calm is.
I had the entire code to myself, books that I stole from an unreachable shelf. Learned to be alone in a place that was better. Coolness taught me first through a basement letter.
Down the steps, the air goes dense. Everything makes different sense. Not a hide and not a fear, just the coldest
Thing that's here.
basement degrees, 20 under the sun. Everything above me is a war I don't run. Nobody follows me and that's how I like it. Base beneath the foundation, cool enough to strike it.
Take the whole staircase, take the dark, take the stone. That's the only room I own. Sub hums low in a concrete floor, low and colder than the whole door. Feel the earth become a store.
Grandmother died and they sold the whole property. Buyers gutted it and made it up my identity.
Basement's a gym with the very bright lighting. Everything cool about it is now frighteningly warm. I drove past and I didn't stop. Something cold you can't buy back at any shop.
And if you had a place where the world couldn't reach, a closet, a car, a stretch, a cold beach.
And they took it or sold it or grew it away. You still have the temperature, knows how to stay. Find 15 new steps, go down today.
Degrees in the basement, buried in the ground. Everything I needed was a thing without a sound. Nobody joined me and I never asked them to. Base beneath the stonework coming right through.
Take the whole coolness, carry it upstairs. That's the only thing that bears 15 steps, and I'm still there. still there. Until the water under, nobody can ask me anything. Yeah. Probably pull up inside 7:15. 6 lanes empty and it looks like a heaven. Smell of the chemicals like incense in a building. Tiles going blue in the blue, there's a healing. Push up the wall and the world becomes muffled. Every loud thing in my life gets shuffled. 42 laps and I don't count them for fitness. How dumb because counting is a witness system. My body doing one simple duty. Nothing to decide, nothing to be moody about, just the wall and the wall and the wall. That's the only architecture I recall. That's true. Chlorine Cathedral, glowing under tile. Everything I'm carrying gets weightless for a while. Nobody can call me and nobody can knock. Base beneath the waterline, quieter than a clock. Take the whole silence at 6 feet deep. It's the only faith I keep. Sub rolls low through a filtered floor, low and muffled by the whole store. Feel the pressure at the door. Woman's beside me every single morning. Never spoken once and there's never been a warning. We just share the water like two very slow neighbors. When he missed a week, I noticed in our favor. Worrying, then he came back with the cast on. Way with the wrong hand and I nearly went off on. I cry because I didn't know I cared that much about a stranger in a lane and a touch of routine. But that's what these rooms are for. Nobody talks and everybody knows the score. Come back Monday, that's the door. Come back Monday, that's the door. Cathedral made up, glowing under tide. Everything I'm carrying gets weightless for a while. Nobody can call me and nobody can knock. Best beneath the landline, cooling all this pressure. The whole silence at 6 feet deep. That's the only faith I keep. Cathedral made of chlorine, blue against the ache. Everything I sank down there I didn't have to take. Nobody preaches and there's nothing to confess. Space beneath the lane line, cooling off the stress. Take the whole hour, it belongs to the deep. That's the only vow I keep. Under the water, nobody asked and I answered anyway. me in a schooling. This isn't forever, though it's absolutely real. Nobody's coming, but the morning's a deal. It always arrives, then you can heal. Vigil at the fan blade, ending with the light. Everything I sweated through was smaller than the night. Nobody kept me company except the motors turn. Bass beneath the window frame, waiting for the burn. Take the whole darkness. It was only some hours. That's the only thing that's ours. That's the only thing that's ours. Till we're so nada. And back to midnight, we're tired.
Three blades stopped, and the sun came anyway.
I built this beat in a room I couldn't afford it. Yeah. Went in the bedroom with the window taped over. Fingers going numb on a keyboard that's older than my little brother, and the brother is 19. Everything I made it in the core was the cleanest sound I ever got, cause I couldn't stay long. Cold makes you finish, cold makes it strong. Now I got a studio with climate and a couch. Everything comfortable and nothing comes out. Sit for 6 hours and I'm making it prettier. Never make it done, just make it a little bit better. Cold was the clock and the clock was the pressure. Comfort is the enemy, that's the whole lesson. Fingers stiff, one take done. Every cold room made me run. Not a virtue, not a plan, just a deadline in a man. Frost on the fader, breathing inside the booth. Everything I finished came from being uncouth. Lay cold and uncomfortable and desperate to leave. Bass beneath the floorboards in a room without a sleeve. Turn the heat off and let the timer be real. That's the only way I seal. Sub hums low through a freezing wall. Low and tighter than the whole hall. Sub hums low through a freezing wall. Low and tighter than the whole hall. Feel the deadline start to call. Tried it last winter, turn the studio down. 60 degrees and I made the best sound that I made in years, and my engineer hated every minute of it, and the record got rated highly. Everybody asking what changed. Told them the truth and they thought I was deranged. And if you're stuck on a thing, you keep polishing. If the comfort in your process is demolishing, the finish introduce a real constraint. A cold room, a clock, a battery, this paint. Make it hard on purpose, that's the pain. Fade wearing frost, breathing in the dark. Everything constraining me left an actual mark. Nobody makes their best work in a bed. Bass beneath the cold floor ringing in my head. Take the whole comfort and just turn it down. That's the only working crowd. I built this one called 2, and it's finished. Tonight, 10,000 voices agree on something and nobody knows what. Trees at the edge of a field going nuclear. Sound like a wall and the wall's getting clearer. Every 17 years they come back and they're screaming. Everybody said noise, but I swear they are meaning something. A vote, a decision, a session. Whole species convening on a single obsession. Grandfather said said they were counting the summers, waiting underground like a nation of drummers. 17 years of a patience I can't fathom, then 2 weeks of everything, and then the aftermath. Bells on the porch like a very small senate, adjourned for a lifetime and there's nothing else in it. The prize is the light goes low. Nobody knows what they know. Not a warning, not a song, just a session going long. Cicada Parliament, ruling from the trees. Everything decided out here happens in the leaves. Nobody was elected and they all got a vote. Base beneath the tree line, humming in the throat. Sit on the porch till the session adjourns. That's the only government that earns. Up drones, low with the swarm's decree. Low and older than the whole tree. Feel vote go through the knee. Kids find the shells and they wear them like jewelry. Grandmother swept them up, but she did it quite gently. Something in her knew that it was a rare thing. 2 weeks, a decade and a half of hard waiting. I'll be 41 when they meet again. I plan to be there on the same porch, amen. And if you've been underground for a very long season, waiting on you 2 weeks without any reason to believe that they're coming, the count is exact. Nobody sees you, but the calendar's a fact. Come up loud, then relax, then relax. Parliament of cicadas closing out the year. Everything they voted on has vanished from here. Nobody records it and it happens all the same. Base beneath the wood line where they never gave a name. Take the whole session, it was 2 weeks long. Fast in the field was the That's the only kind of song. When quiet and the field was enormous. Everything good, bad, normal fit inside a ram. So wheels on one side and the lid that don't close. Cousins had an it and now everybody knows. It's broken in its house and we bring it every function. Ice from the store and a whole lot of gumption. Soda's at the bottom and the bottom is Arctic. Reaching in deep is a genuine narc hit. Thunderate guards it like it's holding a fortune. Kids gotta ask and the asking is a portion of the whole ritual. You say can I, he says before. You say something funny and he opens the door. That's a toll booth. Feel entirely you're laughing. Best security system that a family's been having. Lit up cold air rolls. Everybody knows their role. Not a party, not a plan. Just a box and just a man. Cooler full of August, sweating in the grass. Everything about this day is something that will pass. Nobody's recording it and that's exactly why. Base beneath the folding chairs, cold against the sky. Reach to the bottom, take the coldest one. That's the only prize we've won. Some thumb slow with the lid slam. Low and warmer than the whole plan. Feel the ice become a man. So let's just go. End of the night and the water's just water. Ice all gone and the cans are all softer. Somebody drains it on the roots of the maple. Somebody wheels it back and the wheel is unstable. Same as last year and the year before that. Best thing we own is a beat up red hat. It's a plastic that has held 20 summers and who ever thinks of families. Money needs a house, needs a pool, needs a name that impresses. We had a broken cooler and a yard full of messes. That was the whole wealth. That's the address. August in a cooler melted into gray. Everything we drank from it was cold enough to stay. Nobody replaced it and we never really will. Base beneath the picnic table, sitting very still. Take the last one out and let the water go. That's the only end I know.
Everything good that summer melted into water. Everything good that summer melted into water.
The rule is we go after the lights go out. Fans at the back of the community center, banned since the 80s, and it lets a person enter if they're patient and they're skinny and they're 17. 6 of us total, and the water was clean. Nobody's supposed to, and that's the whole reason. Best swimming happens in a criminal season. Moon on the surface doing tricks with the ripples. Everything's silver and completely unofficial. Marisol floated on her back for an hour. Said the sky's a lot bigger when you steal it. That's power. Nobody argued 'cause the girl was correct. You had everything free is a thing you collect. No lifeguard, no clock, no rules. Just the coldest water pools. Not a crime and not a right. Just a summer and a night. Night swim doctrine written in the deep. Everything worth having is a thing you have to keep. Slightly illegally, quietly at 2. Base beneath the waterline, running right through. Take the whole hour, it belongs to the young. Oh, that's the only doctrine sung.
Rolls low in the chlorine dark, low and cooler than the whole park. Feel the water hold its mark. Growing dark, low and cooler than the whole park. Feel the water hold its mark.
Guy from the center caught us in September. Didn't call the cops and I will always remember. He said, fix the fence when you leave, that's the deal. That's negotiation in a summer that was real. We fixed it every time and we still got in. That's the whole arrangement and it wasn't a sin. And to whoever's grown now and can pay for a pool, who follows the hours and who never breaks the rule, go find a fence with the bend in the wire. Something in the trespass is the whole entire
Point of the water, go higher, 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 higher.
doctrine of the night swim, memorized by 6. Everything forbidden is a thing that always sticks. Nobody was hurt and we all made it home. Base beneath the deep end where we swam alone. Take the whole summer, it was ours to take. That's the only law I break. That's the only law I break.
The rule was after dark and we always obeyed it.
They put a warning on the They put a warning on the whole day, and I went outside anyway. Weather bread with a message in capitals. Limit activity, that's cute, that's laughable. I got a run scheduled, and the schedule is a promise. Made to a version of myself that was honest about what he wanted when the wanting was easy. Now it's 108 and I'm queasy.
6 in the morning is the only negotiation. Out before the sun makes a full declaration. Water on the belt and a route with the shading. Everything planned 'cause the plan is a trading. Look stupid for smart while I keep the same distance. Discipline's not stubborn, it's an actual system.
Red alert, green light, go. Everything in me says no. Body's built for this exact kinda stupid, kinda pack.
Heat index 0, that's what I decide. Everything the sky put out, I put it aside. Nobody's impressed and nobody should be. Face beneath the pavement radiating through me. Run the whole route and then walk it back cold. That's the only heat I hold.
Top blast low off the burning tar. guess I'ma show a scar.
Yeah, finished at 7 with my shirt in my hand, and sat in the shade like a very quiet man. Legs on the curb and the curb was still cool. Nobody saw it and there's nobody to fool. That's the whole point of a thing done alone. Nothing to post and no reason to phone. And if the world put a warning on the thing that you love, if the conditions are wrong and the odds are above,
What's sensible? Do it smaller, do it early. Do it in the shade with your judgment held surely.
don't quit the route, just run it where it's
0 on the heat index, set by my own hand. Everything the weather said became a thing I planned. Nobody rewrote the sky, I just moved the hour. Base beneath the running shoe, a cool and stubborn power. Take the whole warning, I read it and went. That's the only argument. They put a warning on the day, and I made it mine. They put a warning on the day, and I made it mine. I lay down on the lobby floor, and nobody stopped me but the body floor.
Yeah, hey, yeah. Bank building downtown with a floor made of stone. Cold like a river and completely unknown to the people who walk it in a hurry in a suit. Nobody notices the coldest thing on route. I noticed at 19 when my feet were destroyed. Oh, yeah. Sat on the marble like a girl unemployed.
God came over and I thought I was finished. He said the corner's colder and my fear was diminished. Pointed at a spot by the pillar in the shadow. Said his mother used to sit there in the summer. So he knows that's a man who was raised by a woman who taught him the map of a cold thing that's common. Stone stays cold all year through. Nothing here that's made for you. Still it holds and still it gives. That's the coolest thing that lives.
Marble floor mercy, freezing through the dress. Everything expensive gave me some for less. Nobody designed it as a place to lie down. Base beneath the lobby in the richest part of town. Take the whole coldness from a floor that's not mine. That's the only borrow line. Sub hums low through the polished stone. Low and colder than the whole zone.
Yeah, feel the building and the bone.
10 years later and I bank at that building. Wear the same suits as the people we're feeling. Hit that morning when my feet were in ruins. Still sit in a corner and the guard still moving. Different guard now, but he does the same nodding. Some kindnesses in cities keep on plotting. Yeah, and to whoever's got nowhere to sit in the city, who reads every bench as a hostile committee. There's a lobby with stone and there's a guard who was raised by a woman who taught him go get a mace. Coldness is free.
It just isn't praise. Mercy in the marble, holding at the base. Everything unaffordable, had room for my face. Nobody charged me for the coldest thing there. Base beneath the pillar in the conditioned air. Take the whole corner, it will hold your weight. That's the only open gate.
I sat on the lobby floor and the building let me.
I sat on the lobby floor, the lobby floor. Lobby floor, the lobby floor. The coolest thing I own doesn't hang around my neck. Chain on the table and the chain is impressive. Bought it at 24 when I was aggressive about proving a thing to a room full of doubters. Now it lives in a drawer with the other loud outers. Realizes the face when they try to provoke. Not a single muscle moves and nothing gets broke.
Man in the meeting tried to make it personal. Said a thing about my background that was surgical. And wrong, I let it land and I let it sit there. Whole room waiting for the temperature to hit air. I asked one question and it ended the discussion. Cold is not silence, cold is a percussion. No heat, no raise, no tell. Everything is going well. Not a flinch and not a break. That's the only ice I make.
Iced out composure, colder than a chain. Everything I pay for can't compete with the plain fact of a face that refuses to move. Base beneath the table saying nothing to prove. Keep the whole temperature down at the freeze. That's the only jewelry I see. Substance low in a silent room, low and colder than the whole tomb. Feel the pressure leave the room.
Younger guy asked me how I learned to do it. Told him the truth, I got destroyed and went through it. Public humiliating at a table like this one. Cried in the car and then I built me a system. Cold isn't natural and cold isn't given. It's the thing you install after something is driven. And to whoever's got a temper they can't seem to govern. Who says the truth ain't loud and it spends a whole summer regretting it. The cold is learnable, it's a skill. It's not a personality, it's an act of will. Practice one meeting, then sit still.
Composure fully iced out, steady in the face. Everything they threw at me just melted into space. Nobody saw the years that made the temperature. Base beneath the boardroom in a low and cold signature. Take the whole chain out, keep it still hand. That's the only ice that's grand. The coldest thing I own is exactly where I sit. Everybody's at the beach and I have never been happier. Blackout curtains in 100-degree noon. Room stays dark like a permanent moon. Everybody texting me about the weather, sending me pictures of them being together. Out there in the light, in the sand, in the burning. I said have fun and I went back to learning. Not depressed and not hiding and not lonely. Just a person who has one summer only. And wants to spend it inside with a project. Nobody accepts that they all think it's a defect. You should get out more from a man who's been sunburned 3 days running with nothing that he's learned. Curtains closed, the world stays out. That's not sadness, that's a route. Not a hide and not a fear. Just a person who is here. Dark room, bright sun, both of them at once. Everything they're doing out there I have done for months. Nobody believes that a summer can be quiet. Base beneath the floorboards in a cool and private riot. Take the whole daylight, I'll be here at 4. That's the only summer I want more. Sub hums low behind a heavy drape. Low and cooler than the whole landscape. Feel the darkness taking shape. Finished the thing on the last day of August. Showed it to the guy who kept telling me I lost it. He got quiet and he looked at it for a while. Said you did this all summer with a very strange smile. I said yeah, and he said I got a tan. Both are okay, but I like my plan. Everyone you know is out, living loudly. If your version of a good time gets treated so proudly as a failure or a sadness or a thing to repair, you're allowed a dark room, you're allowed the cool air. Come out in September, they'll still be there. Bright sun, dark room, holding the divide. Everything I made in here I made with nothing outside. Nobody understood it and I never had to explain. Base beneath the curtain, rock cool against the pain.
Take the whole season, I spend it on this. That's the only kind of bliss.
Everybody's back from the beach and all something to show. Everybody's back from the beach and all something to show.
The road got soft enough that we could ride in it.
96 degrees and the asphalt was melting. Bubbles coming up like the street was rebelling. Cousin Pop one with a stick in his. Best entertainment on the block that's been missed. By every budget and by every proposal. Nothing out here but a road and disposal.
Shoes stuck slightly and we called it the swamp. Rode our bikes through it and the tires went thumb. Mothers on porches told us not to when we did it. Every kid's summer has an ordinance to get it.
Tower on the palm.
how she knew, and that's why she called her.
Road goes soft, the day goes long. Everything about it wrong. Not a park and not a pool, just a street outside of school. Tall bubble summer, hissing in the heat. Everything we played with was a hazard in the street. Nobody supervised and we all came home. Base beneath the melting road, a rumble in the bone. Pop the whole surface and get black on your hand. That's the only summer camp we planned.
Sub grinds low through a soft and roll. Low and heavier than the whole load. Feel the pavement start to erode. City repaved it in a fall that was cruel. Fresh black asphalt like a sneer at the school. Whole street smooth and we hated it fully. Nothing to pop and the smoothness was bullying. Our imagination out of a small paradise. Some improvements arrive at a terrible price.
And to whoever grew up with a whole lot of nothing, who made an entire world of a road that was crumbling. That wasn't deprivation, that was invention. Nobody handed you a single intention. You built it from tar, that's a mention. Summer of tar bubbles cooling in the black. Everything we broke out there is something I take back. Nobody bought us anything and we didn't notice. Base beneath the melted street, humming with the focus. Take the whole road, we already use it. That's the only thing we never lost it. Oh, 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 oh. Summer of tar bubbles cooling in the black. Everything we broke out there is something I take back. Nobody bought us anything and we didn't notice. Base beneath the melted street, humming with the focus. Take the whole road, we already use it. That's the only thing we never lost it. Oh, oh, oh.
The road went hard again and we grew up.
All day the ground took it in and now it's giving it back.
Sun's been down for an hour and a quarter. Concrete still warm like a hand on your shoulder. Everything absorbed since 7:15. Coming back up in a very slow living. Walk barefoot on it, and the day tells the story. Nothing gets wasted, that's the physical glory. People are like that, that's the whole metaphor. Take it all in and you release it at the door, yeah. Somebody's mother comes home and she's radiating. Everything the office did, the kitchen's now taken. That's not a fault and that's not an accusation. It's just thermal mass and a slow conversation.
Ground gives back what it was given. Everything is slowly living. Not an instant, not a burst. Just a warmth that had to hurt. Evening, thermal, rising off the stone. Everything that lamo, rising off the stone. Everything that landed here is finding its way home. Nobody controls how the heat leaves the day. Base beneath the sidewalk in a slow and even way. Standing, it released to the ground. Finally cools.
That's the only patience rules. Sub rolls low through a warming street. Low end mixing with the leaving heat. Feel the pavement quietly complete. Learned it from my father who came home at 8. Yeah, never talked at 8 and I thought it was hate. Turns out he was cool and turns out he was giving back the whole day so that he could start living. By 9 he was funny and by 9 he was mine. Never rush a person who's releasing the shine. And if somebody comes home and they can't speak yet, if you've been waiting all day and you're starting to fret,
Give them an hour, the ground takes an hour. Nothing that absorbed can immediately flower. Wait for the cooling, then take the power. Thermal in the evening, leaving out the stone. Everything that dated is a thing that we outgrown. Nobody has hurry and the cooling is exact. Base beneath the driveway, giving back the fat. Take that, hold off, it's the day. Saying bye. That's the only long goodbye. All day. All day. All day the ground took it in and now we can sit. All day. All day.
festival start with a machine from the 70s. Man cranks the handle like it's one of his memories. Snow coming out in a way that looks holy. Syrup in bottles of a color that's unruly.
Line goes 40 deep and nobody's complaining. Everybody quiet and they eat that's remaining.
Our family and theirs had a thing about a fence. 12 years running and it never made sense to anybody younger, but the older ones committed. And both of us stood in the line and admitted. Nothing said nothing, just stood there in a row. That kid gave my kid the blue one and so
Cone in hand, the anger fades. Nothing built and nothing paid. Not forgiveness, not a talk. Just two families on a wall. Shaved ice, some mystics melting in the sun. Everything we argued for got softer and undone. Nobody apologized and nobody would. Base beneath the festival, cooler than it should. Take the whole paper cone and let the fence go. That's the only piece I know.
Sub hums low with the shaver's grind. Low and sweeter than the whole mind.
Feel the argument unwind.
Next year we sat at the same picnic table. Nobody planned it and nobody was able. Explain how a fight of 12 years dissolved over a machine and a syrup unsolved, but over. And that's the only part that counts. Everything else is a very small amount.
And if you're in a fight that's outlived its own reason, that's been going so long, it's just weather and season. You don't need a speech and you don't need to lose. You need a hot day and a line and a choose. And a stand in it.
That's the news.
Harmless of shaved ice dripping down the hand. Everything we couldn't say became a thing we planned. Nobody negotiated and it held for the year. Base beneath the fairground, colder than the fear. Take the whole blue one, it's the only treaty sign. That's the only piece designed. Two families finished a war over paper cone. Yeah.
You talk to a machine when the room is that empty. Made a whole vow to Alaska from the 70s. Said in 5 years I will not be in this room. Fan just kept turning in the heat and the gloom.
Blades turn, witness made. Nothing signed and nothing paid. Not a prayer and not a boast. Just a boy and just a ghost. Box fan oath, sworn into the dark. Everything I promised left an actual mark. Nobody heard it and that's why it was true. Base beneath the mattress, humming right through. Say the whole thing out loud to the blade. That's the only vow I've made. Sub hums low with the motors turn. Low and steady while the summers burn. Feel the promise start to earn.
5 years later and I moved to a house. Kept the fan, brought it with me like a spouse. Wife thinks it's ugly and she's absolutely right. Still it runs in the office every single night. Now for the air I got central and a filter, just so the witness can see what I built her. And if you're in a room that's too wide and too small, with nobody to tell and no one to call.
Say it out loud to whatever is there. A fan, a wall, a crack, a chair. Somebody has to hear even the air.
Oh, to a box fan, kept and carried through. Everything I swore that night eventually came true. Nobody witnessed it except a plastic blade. It's beneath the office floor where the promise was made.
Take the whole vow, it was worth the noise. That's the only voice that stays. I made a promise to a machine and I kept it. I made a promise to a machine and I kept it. facing north with a tree at the window. Never gets a sun and it never gets a shadow of an argument. Either that's the part that's important. Coldest room in the house is the room that's a portion of peace. My sister claimed it at 11. Everybody knocked and she let him about 7 people a year. That's her whole social calendar. Cousin after a breakup in and out with a scandal. Or me at 15 when my father said the thing that took me 9 years and a therapist to bring. She just let me in and gave me the floor. Never asked once what I came in there for. Door opens, no one speaks. That's the deal for several weeks. Not advice and not a fix. Just the coldest room, that's this. Coldest room in the house, holding at the back. Everybody heard it, knows the shortest way to that. Nobody assigned her and she took it anyway. Base beneath the floorboards, keeping heat away. Take the whole corner, she will never charge. That's the only room that's large. Sub hums low through a northern wall. Low and colder than the whole hall. Feel the family finally fall.
She moved out at 30 and she took nothing with her. Room went to storage and the storage was bitter. Nobody says it but the house got warmer. In a bad way, everybody mourn her. For a place they could go when the going got heavy. Now we all just sit and they eat and stay ready. And if your family's got somebody who holds a cold room, who never gives advice and just gives you the space to bloom, tell them this, you say the actual word. They think nobody noticed, they think it's absurd. They held the whole house, let it be heard.
Room in the house that's cold, it's empty at the back. Everybody misses it and no one says that. Nobody will claim it cause you can't just decide. Base beneath the hallway on the cool northern side. Take the whole corner if you got the heart. That's the only saving art. Every house has one, ours is waiting.
We built the whole thing after our real jobs ended.
Bought a wreck of a house on a street that was written off by the city and the banks in the Britain. Exit weather that took out the roof in November. 6 of us, no money in a very long September. Work till 11 every night at the work. Nobody paid, that's the whole quirk.
Marisol did Warren cause her father was a Sparky. Dre did the drywall and his edges were arty. I carry things, that's an honest description. Not every man on the bill gets a mission. Beyond the carrying and carrying is plenty. Nobody counted hours, we just counted 20.
Lights on, night 11. Every hour gonna heaven. Not a paycheck, not a deed. Just a house that had a need.
Sweat, equity nights, poured into the frame. Everything we own went in and none of that a name. Nobody was higher than nobody was old. Base beneath the subfloor, cooler than the road. Work till 11 and then work again. That's the only currency I'm in.
Sub grinds low with a circular saw. Low and cut in through the whole lot. Feel the building start to dog.
Finished in April and Marisol moved in. Single mom, 2 kids and a very hard win. We didn't sell it and we didn't take a cut. Everybody worked and everybody shut up about it after. That's the part I love most. Nobody posted it and nobody will boast. And if you got a skill and a friend who is drowning, if you know how to wire and you're tired of the counting of your own small wins in a world that's for sale, 6 people in a summer can't beat a whole jail of a situation. Go swing the nail.
Nights of sweat, equity nights, poured into the frame. Everything we own went in and tried to get a date. Nobody was higher than nobody was old. Base beneath the subfloor, caught a single hole.
Work till 11 and then work again.
That's the only currency I'm in. Framed into the wall, everything we gave away, we never lost it all. Nobody was paid and everybody got rich. Base beneath the finished floor without a single hitch. Take the whole summer and went into a home.
That's the only wealth I own.
We built the whole thing and we gave it away.
the difference between two lives.
Yeah. Fabric stretched out over a window display. Faded to nothing from 100 Julys. Nobody maintains it and the stores changed hands 4 times since the on it first took its stand.
Still it throws down a strip of survivable. Everything under it is faintly forgivable.
Woman waits there for the bus is delayed. Man on the phone getting quietly betrayed.
Kid with a bike and a chain is gone loose. Everybody sharing a very thin excuse for standing together in the heat. That's a weapon. Awnings make a city out of an accident. Sun moves, the strip gets thin. Everybody presses in, not a shelter, not a roof, just a fabric and a proof. In shadow, 6 inches of grace. Everybody standing here is holding the same place. Nobody introduces and we're closer than we choose. Base beneath the storefront, cooling off the booze. Take the whole strip till the bus finally comes. That's the only shelter some.
Sub hum, low through a canvas seam. Low and cooler than the whole scheme. Feel the city share a dream.
Yeah. Store finally closed and they took the whole frontage. Awning came down and I felt an ankle shortage. Just something I never once thought about owning. Now there's nowhere to wait and everybody's roaming.
Around in the sun, looking faintly abandoned. Cities lose kindness in the way least understood. And to whoever designs the buildings we're in, who values the glass and the cleaner thin.
6 inches of canvas held a neighborhood up. Nobody photographed a shadow or a cup of shade.
But we drank it, built it up.
Shadow from the awning on since last May. Everybody waiting, I was waiting the hallway. Nobody misses it out loud and I do. Base beneath the empty frontage coming right through. Ooh, take the whole memory of 6 inches of dark. Yeah. Ooh, that's the only missing part. Yeah. That's the only missing part. Yeah.
6 inches of canvas is gone and we all feel it. 6 inches of canvas is gone and we all feel it.
I put my head under, and the answer was already there.
2 months of asking everybody I knew, everybody's opinion, and none of them true for me. Advice is just a person describing their own light back to you and quietly hiding behind your problem, so I stopped asking. Went to the lake with my whole self unmasking.
April water in a state that gets brutal. Waited to the waist and my judgment was neutral. Then I went under in the cold, took the argument. Everything unclear, got instantly parliamentary order, one clear position. Body decides faster than a mind's indecision.
Coldest the noise stops, every question simply drops. Not a wisdom, not a sign,
Just a nervous system's line. Cold water verdict, handed in a second. Everything I'd argued for got instantly reckoned.
nobody deliberates when the temperature is that.
Base beneath the lake bed, colder than a fact.
Take the whole plunge and the answer will land.
That's the only judge on hand.
Sub crashes low through the freezing dark, low and sharper than the whole spark. Feel the body make its mark.
Came up gasping and I knew what I'd do. Drove home wet and I did it by 2. Called the whole thing off and I didn't apologize. Everybody shocked and I saw it in their eyes.
That I finally decided something without him.
Cold water's a lawyer and it never charged tuition.
And if you've been circling a choice for a season, asking every friend and collecting every reason,
Nobody's answer is going to arrive. Go get in water that's too cold to survive. For a second you'll know, then try. Verdict from cold water, filed without a course. Everything I tangled up got suddenly short. Nobody advised me and it finally was clear. Base beneath the shoreline, freezing out the fear. Take the whole rule and I can't appeal. That's the only truth I feel. That's the only truth I feel.
I came up out of the water already knowing
lights went half and the whole block stepped outside. Grid couldn't take it at 4 in the afternoon. Everything dim like a very cheap moon. AC units groaning and then quietly dying. Whole city's temperature immediately climbing. Nobody panic, we've been here before. Doors opened up and the street was a floor.
Mrs. Open 4 has a generator, small one. Ran extension cords to the neighbors who had none. Prioritize the insulin and then the baby's formula. Nobody voted and nobody was normal about it.
Anything,
but the order was correct and clean. Best government I have ever seen. Lights out.
the heat comes in everybody's skin. Not a crisis, not a war, just the reason doors are for. July brown out, dimming down the grid. Everything essential got decided by kids. Grandmother with a cord and a very steady mind. Base beneath the transformer, humming down the line. Take the whole outage and made us a town.
That's the only power down.
Substacks low with the failing boat. Low wind sputtering through the fault. Feel the city hold the joke.
Came back at 9, and there was actual cheering and everybody went inside and disappeared in their apartments. And the street was empty by 10. Took a whole failure to make us friends again. I missed the brown out, and I know how that sounds. Best 4 hours in 100 sad
And
rounds.
if the only time your street becomes a street is when the systems fail and nobody can beat the heat alone, then maybe knock on Tuesday. Bring an extension cord in a completely fine way.
Don't wait for the outage, go today.
Brown out in July, and then with a hum, everything we shared out there is something that will come undone by the morning and the working of the wire. Base beneath the sidewalk, colder than the fire. Take the whole failure, it was worth the sweat.
That's the best night we've had yet. Yeah.
The lights keep them headed, and I wish they hadn't yet. Everything about tonight, no rise with a chill on it. Gum in my mouth that they market as Arctic. Walking through a heat that is frankly sadistic. Breathing and the whole chest gets colder. Cheapest trick in the world and I told her it works. My sister thinks I'm being dramatic. She's been inside all day, she's not tragic.
Lipstick blue like a warning on the label. Everybody sweating and I'm cool at the table. Not because I'm rich and not because I'm special. Just because I plan for a night that's this lethal. Ice in the bottle and a fan in the handbag. Coolness is preparation, not a brand tag.
Breathing sharp, the chest goes clear. Everything gets cold in here. Not a magic, not a lie, just a menthol in the sky. Menthol midnight, biting at the tongue. Everything ferocious in this heat has been outrun. Nobody sees the work that made me look this calm. Base beneath the boulevard, a cold thing in my palms. Take the whole evening, I prepared for this. That's the only kind of bliss. That's the only kind of bliss. Up cools low through a human street. Inside than the whole heat. Feel the chill beneath your feet.
Yeah. Boy at the bar said, how are you not melting? Told him a woman doesn't share what she's felt in. The making of a look that arrives without effort. Every cool thing you've admired was a project. He laughed like he got it and he mostly did. That's the closest thing, a charm that he hid.
And to whoever thinks that ease is a talent, who watches a woman stay cool and stays gallant, and their confusion about how it was done. She packed a bag at 4, that's the fun. Prepare for the heat, then you've already won. Now they taste some menthol, cutting through the damp. Everything I planned for made me colder than the lamp. Nobody hands you composure in July. Beats beneath the pavement where the heat goes to die. Take the whole evening, it belongs to the prepared. That's the only crown I've worn or cared. is criminal. Everybody's temper down to the minimal. Fights on the corner over nothing at all. Sirens every night and the nights were too small. Then a man on the AM said Thursday had changed. Whole town exhaled at the sound of the rain.
Thursday came slow with the pressure still building. Sky when the color I'd not seen in the building.
Green at the edges like a bruise that's arriving. Everybody outside and nobody's driving. Just standing on lawns with their faces to weather. Whole neighborhood waiting to be cool together.
Wind turns, the trees go pale. Something's coming down the rail. Not a rescue, not a prayer. Just a difference in the air.
Cold front arriving, rolling off the plane. Everything that broke us is about to be erased. Nobody controls it and it doesn't take a side. Base beneath the pressure like a shift in the tide. Standing in the driveway till the first drop lands. That's the only mercy in these hands.
Sub rose low with the thunders approach. Low and swallowing the whole reproach. Feel the temperature encroach. Yeah. Hit it 415 and the street became a river. Kids in the gutter and the whole block a giver. Laughing Mrs. Ruiz came out with the chair. Sat in the rain like she didn't even care about her hair or her dress or the reason. 19 days ended in a single clean season. And if you've been under something that will not let up, 19 days, 19 months and you're filling the cup with the same tired water and it's never enough. Fronts do arrive, they arrive when it's rough. Stand in the driveway, wait through the tough.
Town, everything that held us finally set us down. Nobody earned it and it came anyway. Base beneath the gutters at the ending of the day. Take the whole downpour, let it flatten the heat. That's the only weather I repeat.
The radio was right in the hole. The radio was right in the hole. The radio was right in the hole. And the whole city sat down.
Whole summer, yeah, 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 yeah.
Whole summer. Decided about who got the red one.
Box in the freezer with a very small quantity. 4 kissy reds in a war of authority. Mom made a rule and the rule was rotational. Nobody followed it, the system was notional. Cousin took 2 and he claimed it was a shortage. Politics start young and they start with a storage.
Grape is a punishment, that's just the science. Orange is acceptable in cases of compliance. Blue is the status and the blue makes a marking. Tongue like a warning and the warning does the talking. Everybody knew who had access to the box. That's the real hierarchy, forget about the clocks.
Freezer door, the count begins. Somebody always wins. Not by strength and not by right, just by getting there at night. Popsicle politics, ruling the whole block. Everything important got decided at the box. Nobody was elected and we all knew our place. Base beneath the kitchen, Tyler treaty in a chase. Take the last red one and prepare for the war. That's what every August is for.
Sub pops low with the freezer slam. Low and sweeter than the whole program. Feel the sugar make its plan. 20 years later and we still bring it up. Christmas, weddings, funerals, a cup or something adult. Somebody said remember. Then the whole table's back in hot September.
My cousin admitted it in front of his daughter. Justice arrives slow but arrives like water. And if your family has a joke that's been running, a crime from a summer that they keep on gunning, that's not a grudge, it's a very old rope, tying you together with a shared little hope that somebody remembers. That's the whole school.
Politics of popsicles, settled and preserved. Everything unfair back then is something we deserve. Nobody apologized and nobody had to. Base beneath the picnic table, humming right through you. Take